Welcome to Bullets Nation, the podcast by fans for Bullets fans. I'm your host, Tracy Malone, a Bullets member since we came back into the league 10 years ago. In sporting teams, players change, coaches change, staff move on. We don't, Bullets fans. We're the constant. We've been here since the early days and we'll be here when the next banner goes up. This is our space to talk about our team at length. No 30-second hot takes. We're here for real hoops chat. We love this club, we argue, we cheer, we ride every run, we carry every loss. So settle in and suit up. If you're Bullets family, you're home here. This is Bullets Nation. And as always, I'd like to tip off by welcoming my co-hosts, Scott Husband and Cameron Pawluck. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hi, Tracy.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi, Tracy. Scott.
So in this episode, we're going to run it through. Cameron's going to tell us what happened in the Foundation members in-person event. I'm going to tell you what happened on the online members forum with Malone and Stu. Then we're going to cover Friday's game against New Zealand, and then we'll chat a little bit about the roster. Firstly, though, I wanted to give a massive shout out to Alana Smith, who just won Co-Defensive Player of the Year with Asia Wilson in the WNBA. She was number one in defensive rankings this year in the whole of the league, and she is my favourite player in the WNBA, playing for the Minnesota Lynx, and I am so happy that she got her Jura award. So congratulations, Alana, the girl from Tassie who was cut years ago and is now winning Defensive Player of the Year. In the WNBA, we actually have 3 Aussies left in the finals race. Alana and Minnesota take on Sammy Whitcomb's Phoenix Mercury in the best of 5 starting Monday. Phoenix Mercury knocked out Sandy Brondello's New York Liberty last week. We have one more Aussie still in there, Chloe Bibby, who is injured for the Indiana Fever, but they're playing Las Vegas Aces as well, and the winner of those games will go into the championship game. So well done, Alana. And let's go Minnesota. Let's get that championship because I'm ready for it. All right, Cam, over to you. Tell us what happened in the Foundation members event.
Yeah, so first of all, it was a great little event. Great to have it in the preseason. So usually we get these things during the season.
Where was it?
So it was at the High Performance Center. So, which was good because that was my first chance to have a walk around and look at the facility. But yeah, usually they do these during the season. So when they bring in players and coaching staff, they come in for like 5 minutes and then they're gone because they've got to go and get ready for the game and so forth. So having it pre-season was great. Shout out to the Bullets because they actually listened and made some changes from what we spoke about early in our first ever podcast where we had those complaints. So they've made some changes there with the Foundation member event. And yeah, so it was at the High Performance Center. We just, they fed us, gave us some drinks. We had a walk around the facility at our own leisure. And we did, a small Q&A with Stu and then 3 of the players. So we had Jalen Adams, Tyrell Harrison, and Jack Purchase there. And we also had Vandy. It was there as well, although he didn't participate in the Q&A, but he was there for a chat when needed. And so, yeah, so we were able to, I had a good look around the facility. I really like what they've done there. I really love what they've done in the locker room where they've got all the players' names on their lockers and their numbers. And then underneath that, they have a list of all the other past players who have worn that number. So I really like that touch. And then out the front, they've got a big, massive list of all past players for the Brisbane Bullets, acknowledging them. So I must say, I may have picked up that they've missed one. So I've done some Googling on the way home from that event and found the player that I thought had played for the Bullets way back in the day, named Chris Clarkson, former high school teacher of mine. And yeah, he had played for them back in 1990. So I was able to pass that information on to them and hopefully get his name up on that wall. So yeah, so we had a bit of a chat with the players and Stu. Well, pretty much what Stu covered is what was covered in the online forum. So I'll let you talk about that for when we get to that. Tyrell still sounded at that time like he was still recovering from that illness that he had. doesn't seem to, or sorry, now seems like he's gotten over that after the game the other night. And Jack's really proud to be wearing his dad's number. So I did not realize that that was actually his dad's number that he's wearing, number 12. So that's great. And Jalen is really glad to be in Brisbane. He's feeling good, and the team have embraced him really, really well. So we got to have a bit of a shoot around as well with the players. They played a few shooting games and so forth down one end, and they set up one of their shooting contraptions where it feeds the ball to you. And Stu Lash was down there with a couple people having a go on that, showing us his shooting ability. And I need to shout out Vandy is an exceptionally good three-point shooter. He needs to do some work with Tyrell, and just how good would that be if Tyrell could shoot that three ball?
That
So
would
yeah,
change everything.
so that was pretty much the event. Like I said, it was only an hour and a half long, but it was a great little event, and like I said, just brilliant to have it pre-season.
How many people showed up?
That was probably the thing I found disappointing. I think we only had about 20 people there, maybe a few more. It was a Sunday afternoon, so maybe that was part of that reason. But yeah, I must admit the foundation members events, we usually only get about 20 to 30 people to them.
How many foundation members are there? Do you know?
Not anymore, no. No. They used to have the sign up out the front at Nissan Arena. So I'm not too sure where that actually is these days. And I don't know how many are actually left from that original number that they had, which was quite a few.
Yeah, well, I believe they didn't lose any memberships last season, as what I
Okay.
was told, straight from the
Yeah.
horse's mouth. So it'll be interesting to know. In that high performance center, did you sign the mural? They've got like a
I didn't. I didn't. And I think I realized on the
I'm
train
there.
ride home that because I saw the pen there to sign it, and I completely forgot because I'm like, oh, there's a pen there. I'll sign that before I leave. And completely, I was too busy shooting half court shots.
How'd you go?
Missed all of them.
I don't think I could even make it from half court to. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
underestimating myself, but I don't think, like, my son's like, Mum, why don't you go and do that? I said, I don't think I could even make it that far. Like, I played the 4-5. That was not in my wheelhouse back in
Yeah.
my day. That is not there. All right. Well, I'm so glad they put it on, no matter how many people show up. That is
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so on to the members online forum. So this was only just a few days ago. It was before our first game in the season. Mal said they did a pre-season brief and it was completed earlier in that week, so just before we did the forum. And he said it's the most honest and accountable discussion he's been a part of since being at the club. He said there were some, hard conversations had, but everyone just handled it really well. And to me, that shows maturity. And he said adjustments have been made since then. And that is the sign of a good club.
Yeah.
Adults having difficult conversations and moving forward. I love it. Then Stu Lash came on and spoke about recruitment of the team. So he said high on the list. So we weren't just looking for great players, we're looking for players who've got championship experience and won a championship. They really want it in the DNA of the club and every player that championships are possible, not just something that's out there to strive towards. He said with JFL, Javon Freeman Liberty, he thinks he's just scratching the surface of his talent. He thinks there's so much more to come from that man, which is pretty exciting. He spoke about Tane Murray, who is a high character player. He came through the best college system program in the US. So he just holds him in such high regard as to what they will be able to do for and with him during his time at the Bullets. And they spoke a lot about Jacob Holt, which didn't quite register for me that he's on a 3-year contract. They've been aware of him and his hip issue for 4 years. They've kept an eye on him. They know they did a lot of looking into the hip issue. Can it be healed? Is it something that will hamper him? And they believe that they can absolutely help him with that and fix that, and he can have longevity in his career. And I think they're doing what they did for Casey Prather. And if it pays off in the same amount, then I am totally here for it. Where they've brought somebody out of injury going, we're going to take the time, we're going to put our trust in you, we're going to give you all the space you need to rebuild, and we're going to give you a long contract to get you in and get the most out of you. And I think that just breeds loyalty. I mean, look at Prather. And
So Tracy,
they,
just a quick one.
yeah,
So
yeah.
is Jacob, he's still a way off making his debut then.
So what they said was they're not going to rush him back.
Yeah,
That was the
so
big thing that Stu said. He's like,
Yeah.
we're not going to rush him back. We're always going to err on the side of caution, and we're not going to put him in until we know he's 100%.
yeah,
And that's to
makes
protect
sense.
your asset, a 3-year asset. If you'd signed him for one season, you'd be like, I
Maybe
think we
at
should bring
least
you
a
back
couple more
early.
weeks then,
Yeah.
minimum.
So, yeah, I think so. At least a couple more weeks. So, coaching staff and high performance team now have great communication. They don't have that deep chasm between them anymore. They spoke daily in the preseason and they've made big changes to processes and procedures in that area, as what Mal said. They have a structure there now. They've got processes and procedures. Everyone's communicating. And what they've also done in that area is they've hired a sports psychologist. So the players, because mindset is all of it, so much of it, not all of it, but so much of it, the players are journaling daily. He said, there's already changes that he's seeing in the systems and processes and the players and everything because everyone's more locked in because of the support they've put around them. They've hired a sports nutritionist as well, and that is to control as much of the variabilities as they can. And if they can bring in a nutritionist so that they've got meals on site and things like that, they're doing a lot of things to control all variables to give every player the best possible chance of being high performance this season and getting the best out of themselves. I did, as I was reading my notes, I was like, oh, why did I not ask about what their thing is about alcohol? I've always wondered. It's like when I was younger, there were a lot of players going out and drinking after a session. It's like, but now I have the age, wisdom, and knowledge that I do. I know what it does to the body and that it's a toxin. So I'm like, where are we on that? I know where LeBron James is on that. He does not touch a drink at all during his season. So that would be interesting to know. On the preseason, they didn't want to win. Neither did we. Nobody wanted them to win. We did not want that on us again. And they said they had so many players with niggles and viruses and they just wanted to learn and grow and not win. I still stand by that fourth quarter in Canberra. It was terrible, but we'll move on. The quarters they did drop, Stu said it brought them more focus in training. So it was like a punch in the face and they got into training. They went, we need to work on this. This is so obvious now. And they really took it into training. So that's great. I asked about defense. I said we were the lowest ranked team defensively last season. How is this going to change? And did it come into recruitment? And Stu said, absolutely. Every team who's made the top 4, and especially the top 2, they've always been the highest in defensive ranking. So he said, Sam McDaniel, that we know is our number 1 defensive man. Alex Dukas is apparently a very high level defensive player, and Tyrell, they're the big 3 defenders. He said in training camp pre-season, they worked a lot on coverage. Stu believes defense comes down to effort in the end, though. He's like, we worked on coverages, we worked on a whole bunch of things. We've been working on defense, absolutely. But he said effort is it. And they're going to drill down even more. So drill down on connections, physicality, and finishing every play. Like not just, thank God, not just giving up, not just letting that play go, fighting to the very end of each play. And every single player has a goal every single game, which is win their matchup and help teammates out. The principle of our defense and of our game is have the mental edge. Like because other athletes can be as strong, as fast, all the things. It's like the one thing you control is yourself and your mindset. So he's really working on that. And he also says, rightly, defense triggers offense, as we know. Yeah. Offense, we're going to work on pace, getting our 3-point percentage up, and passing. And so it'll be interesting when we look into the stats if that has shone in our first game. He wants instinctual offense. He's not about controlling that as much. He believes he's put together a team that can build chemistry and trust and be able to do it more intuitively. But he did say they need easy buckets. He said buckets are going to be hard to find against every team. There are no bad teams. And he said, so we need to be really looking at fast breaks and just getting it done. Don't mess that up because you've got to take your easy buckets because we need to accumulate, because if you're having to fight for every point every single game, you're not going to win many. He also said last season he believes that the low defensive ranking was a byproduct of poor offense, which was really interesting. I was like,
100% of it.
Yeah. So it was
passing and stuff like that.
Yeah, didn't take care of the ball. So it was quite good. Mal then came on and said new members. They got 500 new members. I was like, because they're doing their normal membership push, and Mal loves his numbers, I think, to go up, rightly so, because it looks good. And the more you can say your numbers are good, the more sponsors will come in and all of the things. Not a bad thing. And so on that, they ran that special 10 years since the Bullets have started back. We're going to do a 10-game promotion for $110, which is wild, $11 a game. Seats are right up the back, whatever. They got 500 new members in 24 hours as soon as they put that promotion out. So congratulations to the team on that. I saw it and I was like, that's a bit brilliant. Well done. Because you can use those 10 games for 10 different games yourself, or you can have 10 mates come to one game with you and use it on one game. So I was like, just well done to the sales staff. It was just a really great idea. Mal said this at the end of last season, that he was going to drive and push for a better roster for us this season, a better schedule. And he believes he's done that. He's got us the next step. He said there's absolutely bias out there in the schedule for the top teams, the consistent top teams. And we've got more weekend games this season, which is great. And he's committed to fighting for that every season. He's like, that's my job and I'm going to keep doing it. Somebody asked, Stu's mindset as well, because it was asked about how do you like our schedule, 3 first away games. And Stu's like, our mindset is we play anyone, anywhere, anytime, no excuses. Like, we don't care. You want us to play in the moon, we'll go. Like, whatever it is, we are locking in and we are focused on the job at hand, and that's it. Somebody asked about Lamar Patterson. His citizenship is close. So watch this space. I then asked, and Cam happened to ask in his forum as well, which is quite funny. When I did the tour of the facility myself, Mal said, I structured this with a women's team in mind. So this is where the women's change rooms will go. This is what the women's facility will be. And so I asked, how are you going on that? Because I'm like, I'm watching the WNBA players get rostered and brought in as imports into the WNBL season coming up. And I'm like, now is the time. You've got to get on this. I want to watch this. And we don't have a team to watch. I want to watch women's sport. And we don't have a team in Brisbane at all.
We're hanging out for a NBL team in Brisbane for sure.
Yeah, so they're onto it. They're hoping it will be in the next couple of years. So I was like, what does the next couple of years look like? And he said, well, if we get the tender, if we get it going, we could get it for next season. Like, it could be that close. And I'm like, please, you need to move on it. He said there is another tender out there from another group, and it could be that they'll have a team but under a different brand or name. So it won't be the Brisbane Bullets women. And I was like, I don't like the Brisbane Bullets women idea anyway. I'm like, just change it from Bullets to something else. I just think they need to have different names just because they're men and women. I don't think many teams in the world have the same name, and I don't think they need to have the same name.
Tracy, like, do you like how Sydney have the Kings and the Flames? Do you think it's something a bit like that?
Yeah, just something different. Like the same colours, same whatever. None of that bothers me, but just the name itself. It will be Brisbane whatever.
To help differentiate them in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're not, I just don't think that is needed. So, and they have the space available at the High Performance Centre. It is being, taken into consideration. So we're really hoping that that will come off, and I'm really excited for that. I'm like, bring it on. All right. So that's what happened in the members forum. It was good. How many people turned up to that? Did you see the numbers, Cam? It wasn't, I think we got to 30 at one stage.
Yeah, I think up to about 30 from what I could see. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you are a member, turn up to these things. You get to ask questions. You can pre-ask questions, because Mal's like, we're not pre-asking questions to not face your questions while we're there. It's just, it helps us to know who to have there, et cetera, et cetera. So we had our pre-asked questions, and then Mal's just like, open the floor, ask more questions. So show up to these things. They put them on for us. We ask for them. We want behind the scenes, so get amongst it. All right, so on to our game now. Our first game of the season in New Zealand against New Zealand. Scott, tell us what you think first. And we won.
That was a dub, but yes, it was very encouraging. And looking at the box score, there are some interesting numbers for sure, and everyone will probably, the first thing a lot of people will see, Casey's numbers and ties for sure. Like, we certainly don't win without those two guys, but thing that people talk about a lot is the point guard, and Jalen, like, he had 7 assists and 5 steals. So yes, I think he had 10 points. That's great. But point guard getting 7 assists, he's doing his job in my book. And the 5 steals, we can talk more later about the league in general, perhaps not even today, but I'm almost frightened of John Brown at the Phoenix. I think he had 6 or 7 in last night's game. Anyway, more on that later. But yeah, Jalen's like output, I was really impressed by. Somebody was talking about Alex's plus minus. I think it might have been 23. And I'm not big on the plus minus, but the higher the better, and negative is bad. But you can have someone minus something and they still contribute to a win. So I think that, Tracy, you mentioned Alex as being a high-level defender earlier as well. So I'm really impressed with Alex's debut for the Bullets as well. I like the way Stu spoke at the presser. I just like the way Stu speaks in general. I like the way he carries himself. And like people are talking about the timeouts and, he's not even doing it. Well, and like Vandy was talking X's and O's. And to me, that's just a sign of leadership. He's like, okay, Vandy's going to go through some strategy here, whatever. Sorry, Trace?
I loved it.
Yeah, to me, he's a leader. So he's a leader is delegating when he sees fit. And people have talked about the high minutes of the main core, particularly starters. And obviously, if Nordo hadn't hurt his knee and we're all crossing our fingers for him, the numbers also would have been different. And we're just sitting tight for Nordo. But I got the impression they were going by the feel of the game that, well, if we really want a W, and Casey's hot, Ty's crashing the boards, Javon is like racing in transition, and Jalen is facilitating, leave them on. Yeah. And of course, Smack is like PJC was wearing him like a suit. I think somebody said, might have been Damon Larry, but anyway, So
all you can do is slow him down, is what they said.
Yeah, and
like, my goodness.
And just on like PJC, like he had, might have been 12 assists.
Check the numbers 12 later. Assists.
Yeah, and his points, to me, that's like, well, Smack was doing his job. If and some of the buckets that he did get, that high arcing shot, it's just so hard to guard.
Yeah.
So I can see why they managed the rotation the way they did, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just on that plus minus, I know a lot of people don't rate it. I love it.
So
I love it. It gives me an overall look at I don't think it tells you how good a player you're at, but it tells you the impact you're having on the game. It's like when that's why Tyrell Harrison, everyone's like, oh, he's hopeless. It's like, look at his plus minus. He impacts the game. And what I personally think it shows, and I may be the only one here, and that's totally okay because we're allowed to disagree, is it shows the little things. It shows the little things. Like it shows, and I'll go back to the WNBA because we're at the end of that season now and watching it. And the high impact players like Alana Smith, she does not stuff the stat sheets, but she'll get 1 to 2 blocks every game. And when she's on, her ability to help defense and things like that, she locks down when she's on, and the points that are scored against her team when she's on, she might not be defending it. She might not be stopping the shot, but my God, she's doing a lot to make sure it doesn't happen. And offensively, because they can play through her so much, she might not be having massive assists or points. Sometimes she does, but her plus minus shows it all. And it's the same as Tyra Harrison for these years. So I'm a bit of a fan of the plus minus. It just means when you're on, you have an intelligence and awareness on the floor, and you're doing lots of little things.
So my question, Trace, is just, do you think it's more meaningful for certain players than for others? Like Ty is probably a good example.
Yes. The caveat to that is your main scoring guard plus minus doesn't matter because it's not their job. Like their job, when you've got somebody like maybe Javon Freeman-Liberty or Jalen Adams, I wouldn't be looking at their plus minuses that much. Remember how Sobey's plus minus was terrible? And I was like, that's because he's the marquee player and his job is to go out there and he needs to take 40 shots a game. Like he needs to be shooting it.
And he took risks.
Yep. And
It was
so
high risk, high
that's where
reward.
I think there's a massive caveat where it's like, yes, plus minus matters, except for those players, except for the
Yeah.
big marquees, because that's where it's difference.
Yeah, I think also when you're looking at, say, a player like Sam McDaniel, where he's getting the hard guard, he's guarding the best players in the league. He had a -6 for the game on Friday night.
That's pretty good
Yeah.
for
So,
his
and
position against,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So you look at
yeah.
that, okay, it's a -6, but which isn't too bad, still in the negative, but he's guarding one of the best players in the league.
It's the
So
toughest defensive assignment that he gets.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Thank you. That is a good other. Yeah.
yes, you can kind of ignore those numbers in those cases as well. So yeah.
Yeah. I think it just brings all the stats into play, and you need to look at it all with discernment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of the plus minus, except for those two. So let's be superficial. I want to talk about that I loved the yellow away jersey being returned.
I don't miss the
Absolutely.
white.
Yeah, I do not miss it at all. I never liked it and won't ever like it. So I think the yellow's great. It's not on my colour wheel, but I think it's great for the away team. And I noticed when I came into stats to look, Ty is captain, which is a little bit awesome and a good move. And he's kind of being handed the keys to the team in a sense to just go, you're the local, you've been here for so long, you matter. Here it is. I mean, we've been watching this kid play for 10 years now. We've watched him since him and little Magnay. Loved watching Magnay again last night. I was like, God, I hope they just have whole seasons without injuries. I just hope we get to see them just do their thing. It's so wonderful to see them both playing so well. I was seriously concerned about our defense when Ty was not on the floor. I saw so many holes in it, it wasn't funny. I was like, oh my goodness. Tyrell had a monster game. He had a double-double. Offensively, he did so well. But I'm in full agreement. Damon Lowry said it so many times on the broadcast. We need to move the ball through him so much more. He had 24 points, 15 rebounds, and I don't think they utilised him enough. He shot 72% from the field. He doesn't take wild, scary shots. He will get the job done. It was so great to see Casey Prey shine as well. That man is Mr. Efficiency. He just gets it done. It's not, you think,
He's
oh,
Mr. Reliable.
did Casey, yeah, it's like, did Casey do much? And you're like, oh my God. He had 27 points. He shot at 52%. Like he did a lot, but he's so efficient at it that you don't notice because it's not with flair. It's not a big thing. He just gets the job done. So that was amazing. Watching the games, all the other games so far, my concern is that Ty is amazing, but he doesn't have a massive advantage because the other bigs in the league, I look at every team, I'm like, oh God, he's amazing. Oh God. Okay, JLA and Magnay, watching them last night, I'm like, everyone's
Edwards.
got one really great big. There's a lot out there. So I don't think Ty's got as much of an advantage that he had last season, but I do think he's stepping more into his prime time. So I'm so glad he's here and I'm so glad we've got him. And coach did say in the press conference that he just tells him, you're the biggest, baddest man out there. You're the biggest, baddest man in the league. Go get it. And so I think that's amazing. Offensively, I'm excited. I was very concerned over we're going to do intuitive offense. I'm like, how's that? It's going to take a lot of chemistry. That takes time. How are we going to do that? But I am here for it now. And when I've looked at our percentages, our lowest percentage shooter was Jalen Adams at 40% field goals. Like if we can do that every game, that's pretty amazing. And I'm with you on the timeouts, seeing Vandy do that. I'm like, I like Stu even more now. He hasn't come in going, I'm the head coach and I'm going to control things, and he's just, every head coach says it's the team, and he's like, let me show you how it's done. This
You
is
still see
teamwork.
Stu is still the one that's pacing up and down the sideline, so that's still he's the one that's
He's the head coach,
marshalling the troops.
Yeah, he brought somebody in with an expertise to go, you go do it.
Yeah.
You go do that. And I think, like you said, Scott, it shows such leadership. I just absolutely loved it. And I think
maybe he will possibly just do it a bit more often. And you see other coaches in the league do it, and they probably just do it from time to time, but maybe Stu's going to do it more often, which is fine if we get results.
Yeah, so he did mention in the press conference that this game was Vandy's scout. So I think that's why he was using Vandy quite a bit for the X's and O's.
Right.
So yeah.
So it would have been a defensive play.
I just think the whole
Offensive play.
game, I think the whole game was Vandy's scout.
So Vandy did
Oh.
the scout for the Breakers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that-
Yeah.
So that's why he relied on him a bit more to do some of those timeouts and so forth. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
How do you see the game, Cam?
Yeah. So I'm in agreement with the whole Vandy thing. I thought it was great, and yeah, like I said, it sounded like Stu. That was a plan. That was his scout. Obviously, a great result to get the win in New Zealand. I think we've had them first up for the past couple seasons, so and we've lost to them. So to go over to New Zealand and get that first away win is always great. Still a bit of work to do, especially on that defensive end and rebounding. I thought we slipped up a little bit there, especially in the first half. We shared the ball around so well, 24 assists, Adams with 7, JFL with 5, which is brilliant. And, only 9 turnovers. So that's a pretty good ratio to have that 24-9. Look, JFL for me, his ability to facilitate last night and realizing who had the hot hand and just, let the game come to him and contribute when he needed to was great for someone of that caliber, just to be like, I'll sit back and let Prather and Tyrell do their thing. And then he would, pop in when he needed to. And that dunk of his, amazing, but should have been an and one. I have complained on every social media site.
I can't believe it wasn't. I was like,
I know.
obviously that's a foul. Like, he got whacked in the face.
Yeah, now I'm pretty certain there was well, not similar, but I think it was Bannon who copped a whack in the face last night going for a layup, and they called that a foul. And I'm like, that was softer than what JFL
against
took.
Perth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was that. I need to let that one go now. Prather, offensive machine, like you say, doesn't really seem like he's done a lot, but when you look at his stats, 50% from the field, 50% from 3. I think on defense he hurts us a little just because he's undersized at that position. The only other thing that I think on him, he needs to lift on rebounding a little bit, being our small forward.
Do you think, Cam, when Jacob comes back, is it possible that Jacob, obviously he's mainly Ty's backup, but if Jacob plays minutes at the 4,
yeah,
Casey might play more minutes at the 3?
Yeah,
I think he's going to have to.
Yeah.
I think Smith Milner is back up at the 5, and I think Holt will move to the 4.
Yeah. So
and if it wasn't that before, that's what it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob could be either. This is the impression I get, but we'll find out soon enough.
Yes.
But that really gets really interesting on who your starting guards are. Because, I still think Praise is a starter at the 3, but which of the imports is going to sit, because you need Smack out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very tough. Yeah. Keeping him at the 4 as a starter might be the way we do it, but then they move that around as the game progresses and he moves more to that 3. So I think just the rebounding definitely needs some work on that.
Because we won the game and lost the rebound count, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of my other little disappointing things. We gave up 14 offensive rebounds. Yeah. We did tidy it up in the second half. I thought it was predominantly in the first half where we weren't great there.
Yeah.
And just way too many second chances, which really kept New Zealand in the game. Harrison, as you said, just an absolute beast. I don't think he saw too much of the ball in that first half. And then they adjusted, and that second half is where he was really able to get in and dominate a bit more. Free throws, I thought I was going to be angry about at first because they had a horrible first half with them, or not a great first half, but they went 16 out of 16 in the second half. So
that certainly helped.
Yeah.
Also, the Breakers' poor perimeter shooting also helped, and we can't rely on that against other teams either.
Yeah.
Yeah, their 3-point, they put up like 30 something and made 3, or It was crazy. So that's not going to happen again.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did feel like, so defensively, I think we let them penetrate into the paint way too much and too easily. I guess that's a big part of PJC, but he was able to dish it off, and they got some easy buckets in that paint. When you look at their shot chart, there's the paint on their shot chart is just covered in dots. So yeah, so I think we allowed them to get in a little bit too easy. I also on defensive, though, one really good positive is I thought we got into their passing lanes really well. 13 steals, 13 steals, I think 13 steals for the game. I think,
Yeah, 13, 5 from
yeah,
Jalen Adams,
yeah,
3 from JFL, 2 from Casey Prather, 1
yeah,
from Harrison, 1 from Norton, 1 from
yeah.
Smith Milner. Yeah.
So I thought we did really well there, and we've spoken of Smack's defense on PJC. And just a couple of little moments on offense where I thought we switched off and didn't look after the ball quite as well as what we should have, which did help keep New Zealand in the game. And yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at. There was some reporting after the game or on Twitter, I think late last night, from Michael Randall from Code Sport on Twitter, that there's some optimism about Nordo's injury within the Bullets camp, and that it's not as serious as they first feared, but obviously they've still got to get the scans done. So
yeah,
it's still a
and I
wait
guess
see.
the optimism means not ACL. Nothing's, because once you even get a tiny scrape on an ACL, that's a full reconstruction. So that's a season gone. It's
Yeah.
not like the grade of tear doesn't matter. So we're not looking at one of the big things
Yes,
there.
that's what,
Maybe
yeah, I
it was
think,
a bit of hyperextension. It's like that optimism would be that, and you're
yeah.
looking at maybe 4 to 6 weeks.
So yeah, yeah. And yeah, just a shout out to Sam Meninga. Hope he's okay. He's missing today's game. So he took that, he suffered a concussion late in that game when he had that fall, and he smacked his head on the floor. So he's actually,
Scary, the big guys, isn't it? They got a
yeah,
long way to fall.
yeah. So he's missing today's game against United. So hope for speedy recovery for him, because we know those concussions aren't great.
Yeah.
Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
so a lot to look forward to for our
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
So many areas of improvement. So, and it's just great to be back. It's finally we're playing again. I'm a little bit confused with all these people playing European teams, and I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. I'll just keep watching the NBL and hope somebody's going to tell me what's going on soon. But it's just great to be back, and there's so much basketball. We're recording this on a Sunday, and there are 3 games today. So that's great. We've had a little bit of chatter about our schedule. So I really wanted to talk about that because, Stu was talking about those first 3 games being away, and I completely agree with him. He's like, road games are kind of good to start off a season for the team itself. Not as great for the fans because you're chomping at the bit and ready to get to the stadium and just be there for the game. But for the team itself, especially the ages that they are, we've got lots of dads with young children. And so there's a lot of do the thing, off you go home. And when you're traveling, these guys have had the best sleep they've ever had. They get a good night's sleep, which is great. But you build chemistry when you travel together. So you're in buses together, you're on the plane together, you're sleeping in the same hotel and sometimes the same rooms, you're eating together, like everything you're doing is together. And the big thing that we've talked about in our last podcasts have been chemistry, and we're waiting for chemistry. And it's like, what a great way to build chemistry. It's not just done on the court, it's done off the court as well. I've watched enough famous sporting teams movies to know that getting a team together and actually getting to know each other and understanding each other builds that connection off the court, which will bring it onto the court.
Yeah.
And so whilst we've got 6 out of our first 9 games in this season are away games, I'm like, I like this. I like this because the number one thing I want is chemistry. And if we need to have all of our away games, you think about Melbourne United. Yeah, they're going to have a bunch of home games and then they're going to do a whole stretch on the road. So it's Melbourne United. I don't think they have a weak link, but they have to do it in big blocks and then they pull into the end of the season. And we're doing the opposite. So we get the away games. So our home games are going to come during our summer holidays, which I really like. I think we're going to build more chemistry, and I think it's going to be good. So if anyone's out there thinking there's too many away games, just think of it like that. I think for the greater good, let's just give those 6 of those 9 first games up, and we'll sit at home and watch them and cheer them on through the TV, and then just as they build chemistry, they get to have more home games, and we can be the sixth man and bring them through.
Yeah. Yeah, that chemistry usually leads to better communication on the court, which only makes your defense better. So that's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I like the way Stu just emphasizes the positive aspects of the road trips as well.
Yeah.
No whinging, no excuses. He's so clear about it, which I really love. It's refreshing because you know that everyone's just focused on the game. It's like, let all these people talk about whatever it is they're talking about. We are locked in. We'll play anyone, anytime, anywhere. Let's do it. And I love that because I'm like, you are professional athletes. It is your job to play anyone, anytime, anywhere. Like, just do your job, do the best you can, and that's it. So we've got our next game coming up in Cairns on Friday night. What are your thoughts on this one, Scott?
So obviously you may have seen their game against the Phoenix last night or just the result.
Terrible.
And
I didn't even
yeah,
watch the second half. Turned it off at halftime. When I'm done
sure.
here, I'm going to do something else.
So on the scale of 1 to 10, the relevance is closer to 1, arguably 0. And so they have a new import because Ashton Hagen's fell through visa issues apparently, but Andrew Andrews, or the battery because he's double A, some people are calling him, expecting he's going to debut on Friday night. So yeah, I think, and a lot of people are, Jack McVeigh's numbers last night, and then somebody else pointed out, well, the lack of a facilitator.
Yeah.
So I think as long as we turn up ready to play, we have the right attitude, and we take Cairns seriously, which I expect we will, then we should be all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stu has said there's no weak team in the competition, and I agree.
10-team league, and
I think them having Andrew Andrews in and I'm pretty certain he will be here for Friday night's game. That'll help them immensely. We just need to throw the ball into Ty. They're down Mortenberg. Yeah. So, they're sort of lacking a really good big, although.
Did they keep their 4-man? Should have done a bit more reading.
They've got, I think, is it Galloway who's playing the 5 spot at the moment? So he's
Marcus Lee.
Oh, that's right. They've got Marcus Lee as well. Yes.
Karen Galloway I guess he's like a 4-5 or.
Yeah. He's a 4-5. That's right. They've got Lee. So I think Lee's starting, but he's not really your starter.
Somebody commented that he was gassed last night or words to that effect. He played 25 minutes and he probably, they weren't expecting to need to play that many.
Yeah, so I think if we can feed Tyrell and get him going early and tighten up those.
Don't let Lee get open for a lob.
Yeah. It's easier said than done. He's very good at it.
Yeah, that'll be one of the things to watch out for.
Yeah, and just tighten up defensively. If we can play defense similar to what Phoenix played last night, I think we should be okay.
Yeah, they were relentless last night, Phoenix.
Yeah.
So South East Melbourne Phoenix, I saw something because I haven't locked into the NBL until now, but I haven't been looking at other teams. I've just been locked into the Bullets, but not the rest of the NBL. And did I see something about they axed an import straight away for something he said in the media, and then
it was cultural or just team fit was the answer. Franz Bleinberg, the Belgian guy, So
okay,
he's 6'10", and they thought they were, I don't know, because he, in Europe, I don't know, he considers himself a 2-3, but someone that size, they're going to be used as a 4,
5.
Yeah. And so they're in no rush, but it's a little bit curious that they, it's good for them that they made that decision now, because when Mike Kelly was the coach a couple of seasons ago, they let someone go, but that was on behavior grounds.
Yeah.
Whereas on this instance, it was, oh,
Wasn't.
friends, it's not you, it's us. We just don't think you're a good fit type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Yep.
defensively he wasn't where they needed him to be.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I definitely believe we can win it, because I believe we have a chance in every single game. I have concerns that Cairns didn't just lose, they got absolutely slaughtered. And I know the kind of coach Forty is, and I know how he likes to ride the underdog, and they are not going to lay down and take that going home for their first game. So that is my only concern with that one. It's like, oh, we've got to go on the back of that.
Yeah.
Good luck, fellas.
And he always gets them up for games against the Bullets.
Totally.
I think that there's just
he's
that
a great
little
coach. He
added,
uses whatever he can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, it'll be a tough game, but yeah, if we go in with the right mindset, yeah, we'll come away with the win.
Yeah. So that's Friday, September 26th at 7:30 p.m. And we just have that one game. Or is that Sunday 28th? That's
Yeah, we've got a
26th. There you
game
go. We're
on.
playing the 26th, and then we've got Sunday the 28th at 4:30.
Yeah.
So on our next podcast, we will be covering one or two of those. But for now, thanks for joining us for this episode of Bullets Nation. Please comment, like, share, do all the things, subscribe, follow us. This is us. We're doing this because we love it, and we'd love you to join us. So please be a part of our community and support us, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you, gentlemen. Always great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy.
See you
Always
next
great.
time.
See ya.